Hello and welcome to a spring equinox yoga practice. The spring or vernal equinox is the day of the year, one of the 2 days of the year where night and day are equal, and it marks the start of spring and the returning of the light. This is a really beautiful time of year to start engaging in practices to shed some of the heaviness of the winter and make space for the new spring energy to blow in. This practice is intended to support you in basically wringing out some of the sticky, heavy tension that the winter may have brought, to create space for more creative energy to flow into the spring and to support you in just overall feeling a little better in your body and relieving some of the pain and tension that you might be feeling. I invite you to grab maybe a blanket, a couple of pillows, maybe some blocks and some books, and meet me sitting down up nice and tall to begin practice. As we begin to arrive in this practice space, I invite you to start by just settling in, maybe taking your hands and moving the flesh of your glutes out of the way so you can feel your sit bones on the surface that you're sitting on. Begin to connect to your breath, maybe just gently swaying a little bit left and right. Relaxing your forehead, your eyebrows, your jaw. Swallow a couple of times and allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Throughout this practice, I invite you to make any sounds that you feel called to, especially hums and sighs, as they vibrate in your throat and help signal to your body that it can relax by tickling the vagus nerve ever so slightly. In this practice, I will have suggestions for how to move your body and things that you can do, and I want to invite you to modify anything that doesn't feel good to you or sit out of anything that might not feel good. I will offer certain options for some poses for folks to go a little deeper, make it a little spicier if they choose. But overall, this practice will be pretty low to the ground, very grounding, and you can expect to do some twists. I will note that if you've recently eaten a lot of food, I might recommend that you wait a little while before you take this practice so that you can digest and not be squishing and twisting while your belly is really full. And if you're ready, I invite you to just begin by rolling your shoulders, one shoulder at a time. Inhaling to reach your shoulders forward and up. Exhaling back and down. Going nice and slow. Getting your elbows into it. Turning your face to look over whatever shoulder you're moving in that moment. Excuse me. Turning in the direction you're rolling your shoulder, allowing your whole upper body to get involved. And then reverse the directions that you're rolling your shoulders. Get some elbows involved, do some chicken winging. It might feel a little silly, but that's okay. Take a second, roll out your wrists, spread your fingers, open and close your fists, and just rotate your arms and your shoulder socket a little bit. Bring your shoulders up to your ears on your next inhale, and exhale, drop them down. I'm doing that a couple of times. Awesome. You can place your hands on your lap. And on your next exhale, tuck your chin. Inhale to roll your head over to one side. And pausing here to take a couple of breaths into the side of your neck. Relax your forehead and your jaw. Inhale into your neck. Exhale, try to create more space between your extended ear and shoulder. Open your jaw slightly and wiggle it around. Maybe gently tilt your head back a little more to get into the side of your throat. Open and close your jaw a couple of times. Explore here. And on your next exhale, roll back through center, tucking your chin. And inhale over to the other side. And pause here. Take a couple of breaths, really expanding your neck space and releasing some of the tension you hold here. Relax your face, release your tongue from the roof of your mouth, relax your jaw. Open your jaw slightly, wiggle it around. Maybe tilt your head back a little bit to open the side of your throat. On your next exhale, tuck your chin back through center. Inhale, lift your head all the way back, chin towards the ceiling, only as far as feels safe for your neck. Place your hands on your heart to resist the urge to enter a back bend and focus on opening your throat. Maybe bob your head a little bit left and right and play around with opening your mouth really wide and then closing your jaw. Just another breath or two here. Return to a neutral neck for a moment and just continuing to breathe. I invite you to take your hands, placing your thumbs behind your ribs and your fingers in front of your ribs, kind of cupping yourself on the sides. And before we keep moving, I just want to invite you to feel your breath, expand your ribs sideways. Relax your shoulders and your chest, trying not to breathe into your chest, but really focus on sending your breath into your ribs and into your belly. Spring is a really beautiful time to start thinking about detoxing your body, to clear out any of the stagnancy within from this past slow season. One really easy, free way that we can detox our bodies efficiently is through learning how to breathe properly in and out through our nose using our diaphragm. And taking full, complete breaths to really clear out all the old air and fill the lungs with fresh air. As you breathe, can you feel your ribs expand to the side, and the front, and the back? It might be a little stretch for your hand. That's okay. And if your ribs don't expand too much, don't worry. It takes practice, and they might open up more as we move through this practice. Beautiful. You can release your hands. Place your right hand on the ground next to you, maybe on your fingertips or palm down. Lift your left arm overhead, reach it away from your hips, and turn your head like you're sniffing your armpit. Take a couple of breaths here, really reaching away, creating space between your left shoulder and your left hip. Trying to keep your hips grounded, rooted onto the surface that you're sitting on. One more breath here. On your next inhale, come up through center. And exhale over to the other side. And taking a couple of breaths on this side now. Same position. Same grounding in the hips. Same reaching with the fingertips. Relax your face and breathe. On your next inhale, come up through center. And exhale, just clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale to reach them away. Taking a couple of breaths here, just stretching out the front of your chest. Maybe even entering a small back bend and lifting your chin if that feels good for you. In this instance, take a couple of breaths into your chest, really opening that area of your body. You might feel some activation while you breathe like this. That's okay. Welcome the sensations. And then let it go. Shake it off. Wiggle your shoulders and your arms and your head. Take a second to return to lower rib and belly breathing. Maybe send some breaths into your back, really feeling your breath expand your ribs, relaxing your chest. In your own way, in your own time, I invite you to meet me on your hands and your knees. And it might feel nice to place a blanket under your knees for support. Doesn't need to be super thick, just a little bit of cushion. You don't have to do that, but it feels good if you want to. So we'll place our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide so you can see the mat or the ground in between your fingers. Push into your ground with your fingertips and the base of your fingers. Kind of like you're cupping the earth with your hands, really gripping it. We're going to move through a couple of rounds of regular cat-cow. So on your next inhale, lift your tailbone, sink your belly to the floor. Reach your heart forward and lift your chin. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, suck your low belly up and in. Curl your chin down and push away from the floor to spread your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, belly sinks, tail, chin, and heart lift. Exhale, belly sucks up and in. Tail, chin, and heart cave in. Alternating between these poses for a few more rounds of breath to your own pace. Remembering to relax your face and take nice deep breaths, moving nice and slow, no rush. Return to a neutral spine. On your next inhale, lift your right arm to the ceiling and gaze up in that direction, twisting your heart to the sky. And exhale, thread your right hand in between your left arm and your body and come close to the ground without actually going to the ground. Inhale, open, right arm up, gaze up. Exhale, thread your needle and float about an inch off the ground. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread your needle and float. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread your needle and float. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread your needle, and this time go all the way to the ground, placing your right ear on the mat and kind of squishing your right shoulder with your chest. Maybe extend your left arm overhead and bring your chest to face the ground a little bit, just to feel the stretch in your outer right shoulder. Take a couple of breaths here and enjoy the stretch. Plant your left hand next to your face, spread those fingers, push into the ground, and on your next inhale, lift your right arm all the way up again. And then exhale, place it back down on the mat under your shoulder. And we'll switch sides. On your next inhale, left arm up, gaze up. Exhale, thread the needle and float. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread the needle and float. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread the needle and float. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread the needle and settle in this time. Left ear to the mat. Right arm extends overhead a little longer. And just take a couple of breaths here, settling into this stretch. Place your right hand by your face, spreading your fingers and pushing into your fingertips. On your next inhale, push against the ground, lift your left arm up and open. And exhale, place your hand back down. Awesome. This time, we're just going to walk our hands forward a little bit, continuing to keep them shoulders distance apart and really gripping the ground. And on your next inhale, you're going to bring your hips to the right and forward towards your hands, keeping your gaze on the mat slightly ahead of you. Exhale, hips to the left and back towards your heels, kind of almost to a child's pose. Inhale, hips to the right and forward, entering almost like a cobra. Exhale, hips to the left and back, almost like a child pose, bowing forward. Inhale, hips right and forward. Exhale, hips left and back. Going nice and slow, really just getting into your hip sockets here. You might get some snap, crackles, and pops. That's okay. If this hurts your knees, go slower or add some cushioning under your knees. You could even just fold your mat up under your knees if you do not have a blanket. Switch directions. Exhaling, your hips will go to the right and back, and inhaling, your hips will go to the left and forward. Pausing at your next exhale, bringing your big toes to touch, keeping your knees nice and wide. Continue to breathe as you bow into a child's pose, sending your hips back towards your heels, bringing your forehead to the mat, and just take a few breaths here, expanding the back of your body, your ribs. Relax your face, soften your tongue off the roof of your mouth, and just breathe so that if I were to be placing my hand on your upper back, I could feel your ribs expanding and contracting. Place your hands shoulder distance apart, and on your next inhale, roll up back to tabletop. And continuing to breathe as you send your hips forward and down and lift your chest forward and up. Adjust your hands if you need to. Spread your fingers. Tuck your shoulder blades back and down. Heart reaches forward, chin slightly up. Tops of your feet down on the mat. Engage your legs, pointing those toes. Elbows tucked into the ribs, shoulder blades back and down. Shoulders away from your ears. And on your next exhale, lower yourself all the way to the mat, forehead and heart down. Now place your hands next to your shoulders, propped up on your fingertips. A little bit wider than shoulder distance might be nice. You can play around with what feels good for you. And on your next inhale, you're going to lift up partway, sending your heart forward, lifting your chin. And exhale, dip your right shoulder towards the mat and turn your head to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, dip your left shoulder to the mat and turn to the right. You might enjoy spreading your hands a little wider for stability. Just play around and continue doing this motion, inhaling to center and exhaling to dip a shoulder for a couple of rounds. On your next exhale, lower all the way down. Continuing to breathe, I'm going to place your right ear on the mat, turning your face to the left. Extend your right arm out to the side, placing your palm down. And using your left hand for support, you're going to push yourself up onto your right side. So your right ear is on the ground, facing the left with your eyes. Right hand extended out to the side, palm down, up on the left side of your body using the support of your left hand. Up onto the right side of your body using support of your left hand. Now your left foot is going to place down on the ground behind your right leg, and your right leg can either be bent a little bit or it can be straight. So you're in a twist that also seconds as a right chest and shoulder, maybe even bicep stretch. If your head does not reach the ground, place a pillow or a block or something underneath it so that you can relax. And just settle in here, softening your forehead, your eyebrows, your jaw, letting your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth, surrendering to the support of the floor. If you feel good and you want to go a little deeper, you can take your left hand and you can place it behind your lower back. All you have to do right now is breathe into your ribs and into your belly, ideally in and out through your nose if you can. We're slowly going to unravel, starting with your left hand, bringing it back to the mat. Bringing your left leg down and rolling back onto your belly, nice and slow, no rush. If you feel like you need to, you can stay here laying face down on the mat for a minute or two with both arms out to the side. Just to recalibrate. Or if you're ready, you can go to this pose on the other side. So your left ear will go on the mat. Left hand extended out to the side, palm down. And roll up onto your left side using the support of your right hand. Right foot will be planted on the ground behind your left leg, knee to the sky, and your left leg can be bent or straight depending on what's comfortable for you. Once you are here and settled, all you have to do is breathe. Try to relax your face, your jaw, your tongue, your shoulders, your neck. If you want a little more of a twist, a little more stretch, you can bring your right hand behind your back. Just breathe. Enjoying the support of the floor. Observing the sensations in your body without judging them. One more nice deep breath here. Maybe two. When you're ready, nice and slow, starting by unraveling the right arm and then rolling back onto your belly. And taking a moment to pause here. Forehead on the mat so that you're not smushing your nose. We're going to plant our hands underneath our shoulders, fingers nice and spread. Now, you can either come up to a tabletop or you can tuck your toes and push up into a high plank, whatever you're feeling right now. So on your next inhale, you'll push up either to tabletop or high plank. If you're in high plank, taking a moment to just feel this pose, push away from the ground, spread your shoulder blades apart, flex your feet, engage your legs, really squeezing everything up towards your belly button. And for everybody, tuck your toes, and on your next inhale, send your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, just walking out your dog, bending one knee and then the other, stretching out your calves, wiggling your hips like you're wagging your tail. Reach your heart towards your knees, open your armpits a little bit, really grip the ground with your hands. Nice spread out fingers. Keep your left foot planted and lift your right leg just a little bit. And in your own way, bring your right foot forward, placing it in between your hands, and drop your left knee. Your left toes can stay tucked, or you can put the top of your foot on the ground. You'll plant your right foot so that your heel is below your knee and your leg is below your shoulder. Now, the flow we're about to do, it might feel nice if you have books or blocks to prop your hands up tall to bring the ground closer. But if you want to use your fingertips or your hands on the ground, that's cool. On your next inhale, send your hips forward, lift your heart and your chin, sinking in to a left hip flexor stretch. Exhale, send your hips back and down, straighten your front leg and bow over it. Inhale forwards and up, bending that front leg again, reaching your heart forward. Shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, hips back and down, straighten that front leg, bow over it. Flowing through those two poses for a couple of rounds of breath to your pace. And on your next exhale, I invite you to pause in this forward fold and play with pointing and flexing your right foot. Spread your toes, wiggle them around, really explore any tension you have in the right part of your leg. Well, in your right leg. And on your next inhale, come back forwards and up and continue to breathe here. Place your left hand on the ground next to your right foot, kind of below your left shoulder. And on your next inhale, twist to the right, bringing your right arm up to the sky and gaze up in that direction. Trying to keep your right knee over your heel. I'm taking a moment to just breathe here. You probably won't be able to take a super deep breath while you're twisting. That's okay, don't strain. Just relax your face and look up at your hand if you can. On your next exhale, bring your right hand back down on the outside of your right foot. Now you can either return to tabletop or return to high plank on your next inhale. Hold your tabletop or your plank for a breath or two. And then exhale up into downward facing dog for a moment. Just 1 or 2 breaths here. Maybe an extra breath, and it might feel nice to kind of bounce your heart towards your knees and just open your armpits a little bit more. Maybe shake your head. Then on your next inhale, just lift your left leg a little bit and bring it forward, placing it in between your hands. Setting yourself up like we did on the other side. We're going to flow. Inhale, sink forward, lift your heart and your chin. Exhale, sink back and down, straightening that front leg and bowing over it. Inhale, forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Flowing through these poses to the pace of your breath. Relaxing your face, no rush. On your next exhale, pausing in this forward fold to point and flex your left foot. Wiggle your toes, spread them out. Just explore your left leg. Remembering to breathe, relax your shoulders and your face. On your next inhale, come forward and up again. Continuing to breathe as you place your right hand down on the mat, fingers nice and spread out, gripping that mat. On your next inhale, twist to the left, lifting your left arm overhead and gazing towards your left hand if you can. Relaxing your chest and your shoulders as much as you can. Just take a few breaths here. Shoulder blades back and down. Open your chest. Awesome. On your next exhale, plant your hand back down. Inhale back to tabletop or high plank. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Now I invite you to tiptoe walk your feet towards your hands, placing them shoulders distance apart to start, toes facing your hands. And just drop down. Maybe bend your knees if you need to. Maybe grab your elbows if you feel called to. And just sway left and right a little bit, letting your spine hang. Shake your head, yes and no. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider. You can turn your toes out if you want, or I invite you to explore keeping your toes parallel to the mat as we squat down into a deep yogi squat. Can you keep your toes parallel while entering a deep squat? Elbows inside your knees, trying to kind of sit up as much as you can, and just for a moment. We're not going to hold this for long. If you can't get all the way down, that's totally okay. You can stop halfway and just place your elbows on your knees and hang out there. Or if this is just too much for you right now, you could just sit down and hang out for a moment. We'll be there in a few breaths. Shoulder blades back and down if you're in your squat. Maybe rocking side to side, just loosening up. Awesome. We're going to sit down on our bottoms and lay down on our backs. You'll keep your feet planted for now, hips distance apart, knees bent. And just get settled in here. Shoulder blades back and down. Awesome. We're going to do a supine pigeon pose. So you're going to take your right foot and place it on your left knee. And then you'll interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. And just start there. If you are unable to interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, I invite you to pause me and just slowly go and grab a belt or some type of strap, and you can use that to hold your leg in position. Flex or point, or just have your right foot hang out, whatever feels better for you. Flexing might be nice to create stability, but it is not essential. Perhaps interlace your fingers outside your shin if you're wanting to go a little deeper. Making sure your head is still on the ground, your mouth, jaw, tongue, forehead, eyebrows are all relaxed. As we continue to settle in, maybe explore bringing your leg a little bit closer to your chest. If this feels really good, you might explore tucking your right foot into your left elbow and interlacing your fingers with your arms, cradling your right shin like a baby. And then you can just rock, whether you're cradling your right shin or you're holding your thigh or you're holding a strap, wherever you are. I invite you to explore rocking a little bit left and right. Just continuing to breathe. We'll be here a little bit longer. And slowly release your grip from wherever you are and gently place your left foot back on the ground. Unravel your right leg, place your right foot back on the ground, making sure your feet are hips distance apart. Taking a moment here before we move to just feel the difference in your right and your left leg. And then reach your arms overhead, stretching them away from your body. And then just windshield wiper your knees left and right a couple of times. Beautiful. Now we're going to reset and place your left foot on your right knee this time. When you're ready, interlacing your fingers behind your right thigh. And just starting here, no matter how flexible you are, just to connect and integrate the shift. Relax your face, your chest. Keep your head on the ground. And just breathe. Soft jaw, soft tongue, deep breath. And as you settle in, you can begin exploring, bringing your leg a little closer to your body. If you're feeling really good with your hands on your shin, it might be nice to explore hooking your left foot in your right elbow, interlacing your fingers and cradling your left leg like a baby. And wherever you are, now is a great time to begin rocking a little bit left and right. Exploring this stretch. And I want to note that while we are opening the hips in this deep way, you might begin experiencing a small headache or emotional frustration, or you may have experienced that and felt that maybe something was wrong. As long as you aren't feeling sharp pain, discomfort, and potential emotional tension, or I should say emotional expression, like you might feel frustrated or angry. That's totally okay. The hips hold a lot, and this can be really intense. So give yourself some grace. You're doing great. Remembering to breathe. We'll be here just a little bit longer. Perfect. Nice and slow, unravel. Place your feet back down on the ground. Arms overhead. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Our last pose will be a supine spinal twist. I invite you to extend your left leg straight and flat on the ground and hug your right knee up towards your right armpit. Really squishing the right side of your belly. Pause here for a breath or two. And then using your left hand to guide your right knee, bring it across your body. Scooch your left hips back so that they settle underneath your right hips. If you're wanting a little bit more comfort, you can squish a bunch of pillows or blankets or blocks under your right leg to support it. Otherwise, we'll extend the right arm out to the side, this time palm facing up. And gaze towards your right hand if it feels safe for your neck. Settle in here, taking nice, sweet breaths in and out of your ribs and your belly. Breathing from your nose if you can. Relaxing your forehead, your eyebrows, your jaw. Removing your tongue from the roof of your mouth and just settling in to the support of the floor. If you're wanting a little bit more of a stretch for the last several rounds of breath, you could straighten your right leg and either grab the outer edge of your right foot or your right calf or your right ankle. This one's really juicy, and it's okay if you can't straighten your leg all the way. And it's also okay if you don't want the stretch and you want to just stay relaxed with your knee bent. Three more breaths on this side. Perfect. Slowly come back to center. Placing both feet on the ground, laying flat on your back for a moment. Maybe stretching your arms, wiggle your legs, do whatever you need to reset. And then the right leg will extend straight and flat on the ground, and your left knee will be hugged up towards your left armpit. Squeeze that leg to squish your belly and take a couple of little breaths here. When you're ready, bringing your left leg across your body, scooching your right hips back so that they're underneath the left. Left arm out to the side, palm facing up, and gaze towards your left hand. Settling in on this side, relaxing your forehead, your eyebrows, your jaw, softening your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And just breathe. That's all you need to do right now. A little bit longer of pushing, or I should just say, softening your worries or your to-do list, your attachment to your to-do list. Just you and your body right now in the support of the floor. If you're wanting a little stretch, you can try extending your left leg straight and grabbing either the outer edge of your left foot, your ankle, or your calf. And just breathe here a little bit longer, whether you're taking the stretch or you're staying nice and relaxed. nice and slow, begin to unravel and come back to center. I'm going to squeeze both legs into your belly now. And then lift your head off the ground. Bring your forehead as close to your knees as you can and squish yourself into a little ball. Try to take a deep breath here while you're nice and squished. And on the exhale, let everything go. Extend your legs out flat and straight on the ground. Arms out by your side. Palms can be facing up or down, whatever is more comfortable for you. Tuck your shoulder blades in and down so they nestle nice and flat on the mat and create more space between your shoulders and your ears. All you have to do now is settle in. Maybe place a blanket over you so you can stay cozy. I invite you to scan your whole body, starting with the top of your head, relaxing your scalp, your forehead, your eyebrows, allowing your eyes to be softly closed, not squeezed shut. Soften your ears, relax your jaw, let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Maybe swallow, relax your throat, soften your chest, let your shoulders, your arms, and your hands be heavy. Allow your ribs and your belly to soften, breathing sweetly, not forcing your breath. Feel the weight of your hips on the ground, relaxing your low belly and your pelvic floor. Allow your legs and your feet to be heavy and soft, surrendering the whole weight of your body and every muscle to the support of the floor. No need to hold anything right now. You can let it all go. Breathing softly in and out through your nose for a couple of minutes, and I will pull us out when it is time. If you need something to focus on the expansion of your ribs and your belly when you breathe in, and the relaxation that you feel when you breathe out. I invite you to stay here in this resting posture for as long as you'd like, taking some time to express deep gratitude to yourself for showing up and practicing, helping your body release some tension, connecting to your breath, and maybe even quieting your mind or at least easing it a little bit. If you're wanting to continue this practice with a meditation, once you're complete here, you'll roll over onto one side and push yourself up to a seated position, taking a moment to recalibrate yourself in the upright spot. You can move on to the next video to join me in a spring equinox meditation, making sure to bring your journal along the way. And if our journey is complete here, thank you so much for practicing with me. Enjoy your rest and bring yourself up to a seat whenever you feel complete. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is an honor to practice with you.